part of your demo.
We'll give you a minute and 18 seconds to download the app while we share with you a short video.
Come on in real quick, grab seats.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Otto Cedeno. I'm the CEO, President of Movil Realty. My partner, David Evert. I'm a real estate agent in this area since 2009. In 2005, I started creating Movil Realty.
Yeah, and I'm besides the partner, I'm the VP of Marketing at Movil Realty. Also a real estate agent, but I come from a long background with Motorola, Cisco, and Red Hat in both sales and marketing. And I met Otto and started discussing his viewpoints on the real estate industry and how kind of just old it is, right? And in need of transformation. And he shared with me early on his viewpoints on how the industry is trying to transform and how it's struggling to get there. Show of hands, everybody's bought a home, sold a home, and in real estate, right? So you've all done this, right? Multiple times, right? You had a real estate agent that was helping you, of course, but then you and your significant other or whoever were sitting around, you know, in the evening and looking at homes on Zillow, and then like, maybe I kind of like this better than what the agent, and you're going back and forth in sort of this not easy way, right? And it's not easy for a reason. When Zillow came into the market, it was threatening real estate agents, right? Like, oh, it's going to be like Amazon. They'll just buy a house with a click. Now, you know you're not going to spend $500,000 and change your life vector and where your kids are going to be educated, you know, on Amazon. And so the agents still have a role to play, and they're certified, and they have legal liability, and they play a lot of important roles. So they're both here, they both kind of want you, and they both have sort of an adversarial while transactional relationship fighting for you. And what Otto described to me was a way that we could bring those two things together to make it simple and easy for buyers and sellers as well as the agents.
We all the time, we think that we're gonna disrupt this industry just with technology, and I don't think it's never gonna happen. We still need operation, so. And that side we have the technology companies, and this side we have the operation. They need to each other. They never gonna disappear, and always gonna be that way. Because the way Uber disrupt the industry on the taxi is pretty much different than what in real estate. Because there is a lot of professional real estate agents with a lot of knowledge that it's not gonna be easy to disrupt it just like that with technology. So we always gonna need operation.
And so what we really do, you saw the app, right? The app's great, right? You can find your property, you can click on an agent, you can go in immediately, especially if you don't have a real estate agent already. So Millennials, which is right now the largest demographic of new home buyers, 40%, probably don't. And they're used to finding something, seeing something, ordering something, right? So it gives that facility, that ease of purchase for them. But we kind of innovate everything. So it's not just the app. Has anybody seen these cars driving around town?
No.
Carissa has. Carissa has. You'll start to see them once you've kind of seen us.
There's about 25 cars.
Yeah. The agents also have a suite of apps on their phone that allow them to make offers, sign contracts. They could do a closing in the car if you really wanted to, or you could get the closing lawyer to actually sit in the back seat. So they can do basically everything online, mobile, in an aggressive real estate market like today, where offers come in 24 hours after a listing. That's a really huge benefit. But we also have some innovative changes on being able to search for homes using the camera function within the app that you'll see later on in the Q&A. We've innovated the way we support our agents and the way we commission our agents. Pretty much everything. I mean, even our signs, they illuminate at night, which is when a lot of people are looking for homes. So we kind of look at every single aspect of real estate and are trying to change it. And we're getting some good early results. We've been doing this now for about 2 years, and it seems like every month we're adding something. And Otto will go through a few of these.
Yeah, as of right now, we are 25 agents. That was done last week. So we're getting a lot of agents, and agents calling us because they want to be part of this. The majority of the agents are new agents that really want to make, change careers or. But most of the agents that we have right now, they are agents that are calling us and they want to be part of it. We don't have a structure that we're looking for agents. We don't have it yet. We will have it. That's the reason why we kind of doing this thing, so we see if we can get some help from investors. And the other good thing is like the growth in 2016 to 2017 is from 7 we went to 22 agents. So right now we're at 25. Average agents close about 9 transactions a year. Our agents close 24. So that's pretty good for a new agent closing 24 transactions. In numbers, it's about $70,000, $80,000 a year. So those numbers, we also have 75 days for an agent to close. Usually they are 90 days to close, pretty much new agents. Our split is 80-20, is very competitive in the market. Usually big companies charge 50-50, 60-40. So we are on the 80-20. We don't really want to catch the whole commission for the agents, so I think that's a good number, 20% for us to run the whole concept. It's a pretty good number. Every time an agent can go to 100% commission if they close about 17 transactions, so they're gonna cap at $19,000. Other companies cap at 24. So we pretty much doing what the industry is doing. We just don't want to come to the industry and just change it from one day to another. We want to make the changes little by little. That's pretty much what we have so far.
And the operational differentiation is what drives these numbers. So, why are our agents closing 24 homes in a year on average, some even more, when they're basically brand new agents? Well, they drive around in a car that immediately initiates a conversation. You pull up at the Panera Bread in a car that has your picture on the back and it says Movil Real Estate. Well, you don't have to say, hey, I'm a real estate agent, would you like some help? We do a lot of social media on Facebook, a lot of marketing of the agency. We're actually this week launching a push platform so that all of our agents become automatically automated social media on it. So they get to not spend their time in the morning doing all their social media and their marketing and their online networking, and spend their time with clients. And they can understand the client quicker, get to a close quicker. 75 days, if you think about the process, when you bought your home, from the time you put an offer to when it closed was probably at least a month, maybe 45 days. So what we're saying is we hire an agent, and within less than a month, they're under contract. And these are sometimes new agents that just got their license. Because of the way we train them, because of what the tools we put behind them, it's the business model. The app's pretty sexy, and I think it communicates really well how we're innovating, but it's the business model, the way we do the training, the way we've set up the social media, the way we've set up our marketing, digital advertising. And then because it's such a low-cost virtual model, virtual in quotes because we actually work one-on-one very close with all our agents, that's why we can put so much of the commission. It's pretty common to have a 50-50 or a 40-60 split for a brand new agent. Real estate agencies think, well, you're new, you're bringing a lot of liability, you don't know how to do your job, I'm not gonna pay you like I pay a top agent. Now, that's the pitch, right? That's what's going well. We have a lot of opportunity in front of us for growth, and that's where we need to ask for help, which is what this forum is really about.
As of right now, we started with one office in downtown Durham, on Main Street, in 2015. And then in 2016, we opened another office. And 2 weeks ago, we opened another office in Burlington, North Carolina, which is a 10,000 square feet office where we're gonna put a lot of agents. That's.
My apologies for the interruption, but can you speak up? We didn't.
Oh, sorry.
We didn't hear that part.
Okay. As of right now, we have 3 offices. Our first office was in 2015 in downtown Durham, and our second office is still in Durham downtown. And our third office we opened 2 weeks ago in Burlington, North Carolina. So we pretty much are going ready to expand, but at the same time, we are not. I mean, we feel that we need help from others, partners, investors that bring us to the next level and open more offices.
Yeah, the more we meet with people, the more they ask us, like, "You a national chain?" And just because the way it's done in our marketing, and we do, we want to be a national chain. So once we spread out across North Carolina, we very quickly want to move nationally, because frankly, some of the stuff, like anybody could rent a car, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can do that's replicable. I mean, if we figured it out, somebody else can figure it out. And so we want to have that first mover advantage, but we can only take advantage of it real fast. Growing fast, we're going to need a lot of talent very, very quickly. We've done most of the app development with an international team of coders in India and a gentleman in Ecuador that helps us with all the orchestration of it. But we really need, a technical lead. We're going to need, a CFO. We're just looking at hiring a business development person to look into all kinds of different aspects of growth of the company. And then all of that, of course, and I know we're not a Shark Tank, as Chris said this morning. Some of that's going to take money, right? We can organically grow and cover North Carolina probably on our own over the next probably 2 years without a whole lot of difficulty. Having said that, to go national, to do the things we want to do on the app, which we've got a lot of great ideas, and then do have some integration ideas around the software portfolio that our agents use to be more productive, and then to expand out the operations. I mean, just buying what we call chill places, which is another thing we've innovated around the real estate office. It takes money. So we sit here, everyone we work with says this is a great idea, can't believe this hasn't happened before. The industry is incredibly ripe for technology innovation and transformation. I, as a consumer, am just frustrated every time I have to buy or sell a home because it just does feel like it's 1970. Can't believe nobody's done this. Are you sure nobody else is doing this? Why aren't you national? And we think these are some of the things that are between us and that massive growth.
As of right now, there is no app that you can see real estate agents in real time. So that's pretty much our advantage of the industry. Other things people can do it right away, but it will take you a lot of time to develop, maybe 2 years to develop an app, and not just develop the app. I mean, you gotta have the agents, you have to have the MLSs in different areas. We have so many MLS in different states, in different counties. So there is a lot of details that we went through in order to have this app.
So with that, that's the concept to the best of our ability to explain it. Let's open it up to questions and offers for how you can help us. Yes, in the back. Is there a mic that needs to go around?
So what I find interesting is that you're improving an existing process and not disrupting an entire industry. But at the same time, I appreciate your kind of divide and conquer strategy by taking on individual agents that may come from various different shops, and then eventually you could just become an instant brokerage, once you gain scale. That's an very interesting strategy. So,
well, and not to interrupt, but just that we actually are a real estate brokerage. We do $35 million in home transactions last year.
Well,
so
you're drawing the talent from these other shops that have
exactly.
existing clients, and
Yep.
I like how you're kind of setting that up. One thing that's not clear to me though, are you controlling the buyers or the sellers? Because having your own listings is going to be very much more powerful than just having some buyers that find you on an app or in front of a drugstore because you have a cute car. So, how are you going about utilizing this to get more listings?
As of right now, we pretty much concentrating on buyers. If you are a new agent, you're not just gonna get listings. You need to have a process in the market to get the buyers knows you, they recommend you, then you get the listings.
All right, so you wanna control demand right now? That's
Yeah,
your
right now
strategy.
we're controlling we are offering for the buyers, but eventually sellers will download the app and they will see a real estate agent in real time is nearby, and seller will tell the agent, come here and give me a price for the house. So that's how we got it set up, but eventually it's gonna happen. But as of right
And it's-
now,
yeah.
we're pretty much working on buyers.
And it's not to, it's not to
Okay.
say that we don't have listings and we don't support sellers. Otto, being humble, he's been in the business for 7 or 8 years and has, lots of listings. We have 2 or 3 other agents who have 5, 6 years of experience in the industry that get listings. But you're right, sort of the strategy and the innovation is largely benefiting the buyers right now. I mean, there's a second degree of separation. If you're thinking about selling your home and you've got an agency that's innovative, that has agents all around the city, mobile at all times, yet another marketplace beyond MLS where it can list your homes, there's a perceived benefit. The question you're probably gonna ask is, yeah, but there's still a small boutique. Am I gonna feel more comfortable with Keller Williams with, however many hundreds of agents? Which would be a fair question to ask.
Eventually, we're gonna have issues with prices. Right now, it's 6% commission. Eventually, people is not gonna pay, especially millennials, when they put their house in the market, they're not gonna pay 6%. They're gonna pay way less than that. So that's when we come in very effective, because we're gonna be doing more transactions, because we're gonna move faster.
I saw that hand go up first, and then yours, and then
Okay.
in front.
So you say you're Uber of real estate,
Mhm.
but in Uber, the customer starts a transaction
Right.
with the driver, and then they complete their process, and then they're gone.
Yep.
And then go to the next one when they need another one. If I just wanna see this one home, am I gonna see the readily available agent? And then I'm wanting to see a different one at different time, I'm gonna see a different agent?
Yeah,
And how are you gonna do commission splits within your company?
So that's actually your option within the industry. Whenever you're meeting a real estate agent right now. If you're interested in buying a home, we can have a conversation, and if you decide to open up an agent contract with me, then we'll work together, and if you decide not to, you can work with Otto. So it's the same thing on our app, right? You see a home, you like it, you see a car nearby, our agent's gonna be more than happy to find an interested buyer that's interested in seeing a home, so of course they're gonna, go show you that house. And then they're gonna have a conversation. Do we wanna enter into an agency contract where I'm representing your interest in the purchase of your home? And if you say, I'm just kind of thinking about it, then you're just kind of thinking about it. You still have the app on the phone, and you're not in a contract with anyone. That's just the way real estate works. If later on you find another home with another agent, then you'll work, and until you're under contract with an agent, you have no
We
legal
advise.
relationship or requirement. Of course, the neat thing about our agency, at least at this scale, is we all meet on Tuesday, we all sit together and talk. We have an internal Facebook page where if anyone ever has a question, they throw it up there and other people answer. We readily do referrals between each other when somebody's busy. So it's a very friendly, people basically say family type of agency right now. So at this scale, it really wouldn't be an issue. When we get national, you're right, that's probably gonna be something we need to address.
Let me just to finish that. We advise our agents to make everything simple. Sometimes agents tend to tie up a buyer for a year to sign a contract. We advise them not to, because some people are not willing to sign a contract for a year. So we advise them just to make it simple, just show the property. And of course, we have to follow rules, the real estate commission. We have to show the brochure, working with the real estate brochure, and make them sign. It's not a contract, it's just let them know that they are agents.
So why don't we flip-flop while you address your phone call?
My question didn't apply to the app, so I'll just ask you probably later.
Okay.
So if someone gives you a call, you show them a house, they say, great, thank you for showing me the house, but then they go to a different agent, end up buying that same house. Is there any protection for you guys?
Yeah, when you show a property, you make them sign up, working with a real estate agent, brochure. A lot of times buyers, they don't wanna sign anything, so it's pretty much, and you don't wanna tie up a consumer to you if they don't want to. That's how we wanna make it simple. Sometimes, top real estate agents, you have to sign these, otherwise I'm gonna show you no how, so that's okay. I mean, their value maybe is more, their time is more value than other agents, so. But we advise our agents to just get leads and get as many clients as possible.
I think maybe the underlying question that's not being asked is, what's the value proposition of your real estate agent over another one if the only thing they've got is that they can get there quick? One, that's, our real estate agents need to be able to articulate that value proposition. We've tried to articulate it. If you go to movilrealty.com and click on our blog site, there's actually, we kind of detail the car and the sign and the business model and all the types of ways we're innovating. And we use that content to help our agents articulate how our agency is very different, while still working in the confines of a regulated industry, and why listing and buying through us is a better, simpler, easier experience than it is with other agencies. If they can't articulate that and you're not comfortable with that real estate agent, I mean, that's the business, right? It's as much about finding your dream home or getting out of the overpriced home you got stuck with, as it is about finding somebody you really trust to handle probably the largest financial transaction of your life. Right? Let's just come back to him first.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about this could take maybe 2 years or something to develop an app. I disagree. It'll take 2 days. The barriers to entry to this are very low. Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, they can jump into this really quickly. What are you doing to put up any barriers to entry so you can't get anyone reverse
Successful.
Yeah.
marketing coming back into your space, doing it at a national level, and eclipsing what you're trying to do at a local level?
So I think there's 2 ways to answer that. One is, it's not, you're right, you could write the app in 2 days. Having the integration with the MLS database is actually a legal process, a hurdle that took about 18 months. Kind of like how it's really simple to become a US citizen, but it still takes 5 years. I mean, it's just paperwork. but
Zillow,
it's set up to
Redfin,
take 5 years.
they already have those relationships. They already have those strategic alliances.
So
they have those
actually don't.
inroads.
So they have the legal right to display MLS information. They
Mhm.
don't have the legal right to integrate with the database and manipulate that.
That is
So
just a
you're right.
GeoIP tag on a
Zillow-
cell phone on a
Zillow
GPS.
can
That's
use
not.
database from let's say I have a listing, and I have to give Zillow permission to publish that listing. If I say I'm not giving permission to publish it, they can't use it.
I'm still not convinced that you've created a barrier to entry,
I-
or prevented someone else that's a bigger, powerful gorilla coming in and taking up your piece of the pie.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm generally in agreement with you. The barrier is a little bit bigger than you're communicating it to be. Having said that, you're right, big money and big brand can come in and take this over very, very quickly. We're, of course, we've done, what a small company is supposed to do around patent protection and copywriting, right? At the end of the day, they're legal too. They can lawyer up bigger than we can and beat us down. So I'm sure Krista can mention, would it make a lot of sense for us to spend $50,000 at the size of our company right now to completely, perfectly protect ourselves legally? No, because they'll put us out of business with lawyers anyways. So we've done sort of the first pieces, but you're right. The best way to defend ourselves is move fast and use resources. I mean, it's precisely why we're here, because if we don't move fast and move big on this, it will be copied by the big guys. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and let me add this. Sometimes when we have Airbnb, when they start presenting to the hotels, everybody will say, look, they're just gonna, I'm a big hotel chain, I can just knock you down. They did it, because there is something behind some process that is kind of unique, that it needs the help. Yes, a big company can do it and put together and do it, but we're getting the experience little by little and growing that direction. We are sure that some companies are gonna come next week and do the same thing. We are aware of it. But it took us 2 years to get the whole process. If you are a technology company, you're not just gonna go to the MLS and says, I'm a technology, give me the database. It's not gonna happen. You gotta have a firm.
let's grab one from this side. Yes,
So,
more you.
hopefully I haven't misunderstood, but from the consumer standpoint, your value proposition is I can show up and get somebody there right away to look at the house. So now that you've had this in the market, what are your engagement statistics? What is your data that shows that that's happening at a rate that can overcome these entrenched competitors?
To be honest, we only have a couple of thousand downloads. We launched the app right before Christmas. Those downloads are probably comprised mostly of existing clients and friends of those clients, as well as friends and family of us. So that's another area where we really need to expand it. We get our agents get about 30% of their leads when they start, literally from the car. You know, like somebody's driving behind the traffic, behind them, and they call their phone number. We've gotten 1 or 2 leads now. A couple of agents have talked about, somebody clicking on their car in the inside of the app. But that's another thing, is we really need to drive adoption of it as a platform. Everyone we talk to loves it. We hope you guys goof around with it and share it with people. Maybe even go see a house. But frankly, it's early days for us to know that. And it's why I kind of tried to wrap up with, while the app is super sexy and it's a great way to talk about how we innovate, it's also the business model, the low-cost model, the way we're driving social and digital media and marketing, that is just a little bit different in each aspect than the way the industry has done it before. But we just don't have it yet. Go ahead.
I just want to speak to the frustration. I mean, we were looking for a house a couple years ago, or a few years ago, before I went independent, and then we stopped looking for a house because you don't make any money with it. But when we were doing that, it's such a pain just finding an agent and then figuring out what to do. And then, like, do you walk into Coldwell Banker? We did that the first time, and we got a crappy agent. And then we were signed for a year, and we didn't like him. And we ended up finding our own house. He got the commission and everything, but that was a bad relationship. The last time we tried to find somebody came through, we didn't like them, and then somebody else came through. Then we finally got a referral to a good agent, and that was awesome. But if I had a button and I could say, I want to go see this house, I would use that button. And that button, I haven't seen that button on any of these sites. I've seen all these sites. I used a bunch of them. There are call buttons, everything, but every time you look at it, you go, well, if I hit that button, I'm going to have to talk to this person, I'm going to have to sign for a year, I'm going to have this relationship, I'm going to have to wait and see if they can meet on Tuesday to go see this. I like it, so I think it's cool for that frustration.
As of right now, we have, like I said before, operation and technology. So they don't like each other. I mean, you can go to Google, Zillow, and then you find an agent from Coldwell Banker, and they have to give Zillow 25%, and the brokers another 25%. So the real estate agent is frustrated and the consumer is frustrated because you're not just calling one specific person and that person just dealing with one company.
And
So that's pretty
I
much
think
why
that's
we
your
come
value
into-
proposition, is just that you eliminate annoyance.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Eliminating-
annoyance.
We're simple and we're easy.
And you speed. You make money because you're fast, and you eliminate annoyance. So that's how you get customers. And if
some
you
of the
ditch
stuff,
that,
some of the stuff we want to do, just to pile onto yours, with the software enhancement, this is, kind of, we'll put it out there and hope that we get help back. One is just simple rating. When you're looking at the agent, you can read the bio that they wrote and then I, polished. But we're going to be putting like a Yelp style rating that customers can rate the agents and say, okay, well, this is one of the, there's one that's 5 minutes away that's got 4 stars, there's one that's 10 minutes away that's got 5. I'm going with the 5-star guy, right? The other thing is, one of the really tricky parts about real estate is trying to articulate what you really want in the form of a house when in fact you don't even really know what you want. Right? What's awesome is that's been solved with people. Has anybody ever heard of Tinder? Right? And I know what it is.
Don't raise your hand.
I know what it becomes. But
If your significant other's in the room,
swipe one
don't
way,
raise your
if
hand.
you don't like something, you swipe another way. If you put a $19.99 per month simple artificial intelligence API connection to the back of that, when you swipe on brick frontages 3 times, I know you like brick frontages. When you swipe left on homes that are under 2,000 square feet, I know you don't like 2,000 square foot and smaller homes. Within probably about 15 minutes, instead of that, faxing you MLS pages or sending you links to this, and then you kind of like it, and then you spend a whole day with this ding-dong agent that doesn't really get you. And I told them I don't like this thing, and they still showed me 3 homes that were like that. That frustration of those 3 days you have to take off of work to go finally communicate what you really, really want. Technology, automation, that can all take care of it. So we've got a number of other innovation ideas, and maybe that in this world is the best way to defend ourselves from the big guys, is continual innovation and continually moving faster than the big guys will let us do.
I think we have somebody here.
Sorry, we
Yeah,
only have a
somebody
couple
have
more
to
minutes.
organize.
Yeah, we had a couple more minutes, and we had 3 hands up on this side.
Greg,
All right.
Greg in front, and
I'm sorry.
Catherine, and then we'll go back.
Yeah, we'll let you guys
All
handle
right,
Q&A.
So now all that Evert.
Sorry.
Regarding go-to-market, I guess another thing from the consumer standpoint. So if I go to Redfin, I don't have to commit to the buying agent that you show me, but also on the on-demand aspect, I can see an agent nearby, but I'm not necessarily going to get into the home because the sellers still have to approve the appointment, which can be frustrating. Because I've also had that experience. The kids are sick or whatever reasons they don't want to show the home. How do you get past
Well,
that?
putting an agent in front of consumer is a big win for the agents. So even though the house, you're not gonna be able to see it, but I'm gonna be able to show you properties in the area. So once I have a contact with the consumer, so that's a big plus in our industry, like me face to face with a ready able consumer.
And what's nice also is we have a chat function within it, so when you click on the car, most people click on chat. You can email or you can call them directly. But in today's world, most people are comfortable just chatting. And the chat back is, hey, I'm really sorry, I just contacted the seller agent, the home's not available until tomorrow, would you like to set up an appointment or like to see another home? And you've got that barrier that chat puts up where it's like, not really, I was just interested, I was just checking it out. We don't want to undermine our agents, but the reality is every business needs to be customer focused, and so we know that's the way you feel, and it was just you wanted to see this house, and maybe you wanted to see it right now because you were a little bit excited about what you just saw, and maybe you don't want to set an appointment. That's fine, right? As long as we're making it simple, easy, and super approachable for clients, we'll win in the end, right? It's because so many people have that kind of. Let's face it. I mean, I'm a registered agent in North Carolina. I think it is a creepy ass industry. It just is. Ooh, this pantsuit person, like, oh hey, I'm gonna buy you your home. It's that used car salesman feel that we're just trying to filter away, automate away, and make the interface, with clients much easier. So I'm sorry. You have 2 more?
Just one more thing. The agent come in with the car and the picture. And it's very safety for the consumer because right away the consumer will know who that person is. I think you next.
You say that you want the top 20 national markets, and yet you opened an office in Burlington. And there's this other little community down the road here, a little east. And so I'm questioning, what was it that made you go to Burlington instead of jumping in with both feet in Raleigh?
Yeah, so basically our agents are mobile and they can function anywhere. Most of our agents live in the Raleigh area and then they come into our Durham office. We absolutely, in fact, do want to open an office that makes it easier for them to grow. Probably on the east side of Raleigh. That's absolutely the next place we want to go. Then there's sort of like this geographic leap over to the coast, which doesn't feel as organic, but we've got to make it. We went to Burlington, one, because there was a great opportunity to buy a great building and renovate it into a really cool space, we didn't talk about that, but you can check it out on our blog, how we build these chill places that are sort of fun oases for a mobile agent to just drop in for a second or drop their kids from Carline or whatever they need to do and hang out with Xboxes and very millennial. So we made that move because of opportunity. We of course want to go to Winston-Salem, head down to Charlotte. Kind of that whole 85-40 corridor is where most of the business happens in real estate in the state. So you're right, strategically, building some more capacity on the Raleigh side of town would have made more sense, but we had a great opportunity.
We also need database. Remember, we have the Triad MLS, we have the Triangle MLS, Triad MLS, and Charlotte MLS. So we're pretty much looking for the top MLS in North Carolina.
Which we already have. Raleigh Durham is all one. So.
All right, one
and we had one more. I don't remember what your third one was.
But yeah, go ahead.
My hand's the tallest.
Yeah, yeah.
Volunteers get free questions.
So, I'm probably working to your millennial demographic. I've sold a house, bought and sold, and I sold it myself. And I think that's what I think. You know, you use these. So I hate this real estate thing so much. Because I mean, we're sacrificing our incomes for this mortgage, and then someone shows up with a suit and they get 6% of your life savings. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, selling your house is so easy. It was so easy. It blew my mind how easy it was. And you know, you say Uber and you say Airbnb, but like the problem is the real estate agent still exists in this model.
Yep.
That's the problem with this whole thing. You just say you're removing the third man, but you're standing right there. So I think Chris nailed there's two sides, obviously, right? That side makes a lot of sense because that is, I mean, when you're getting a mortgage, there's a lot going in and you don't want to get screwed. Like that's big time, but especially right now when you can just sell your house by posting it on KSL. Oh, KSL's a Utah thing, but on Craigslist, I mean, you'll get crazies and they'll probably ask you out for dinner and stuff, but you also will probably sell your house. And so I think that's, have you heard of Homey?
Yeah.
So they focus on, $400, we do your paperwork. Sell your house yourself.
It's like LegalZoom.
Yeah, walk away,
Somehow.
exactly. And so,
FSBOs.
so I feel like you guys are killing it. The app and all the things are really great, but I still think maybe, I don't know, maybe you're thinking too small.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, that's where the industry's going. The industry's
Yeah.
going that way. I mean,
Is that like your phase two? Is that kind
agents
of?
collecting $100 for showing a house?
So here's
I
what's
would
gonna.
see agents paying collecting $1,000.
And I think what's happening is like I remember when I was selling my house, I had all my real estate friends of friends being like, "You're crazy. You're gonna let someone walk through your house, blah blah blah, without a professional." I'm like, so I'm gonna let you walk through my house with crazy people, So
Yeah, so I mean, so to address that, there is
Yeah.
that in the minds of some people, and there's some legitimacy to it, right? I mean, there is
Well,
a
it's a
value
pain.
for
It's
a lot
a-
of people. There isn't, right? A lot of people are more do-it-yourself, and totally agreed.
yeah.
Here's what I think is going to happen: if our agents are closing over twice as many homes,
Yeah.
they're going to be making twice as much money, right? Let's
Yeah.
say a real estate agent makes $120,000 a year generally. Then our agents should be making somewhere in the order of $240,000 to $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
Let's say we're successful and we get 100 agents in North Carolina making, or in the Triangle, making $300,000 a year because of that sort of, while it's not legal, but sort of a standardized commission structure. What's going to happen in a capitalist market?
You're gonna get
Somebody's
people
going to come
moving.
in and say, listen, I mean, I want to make a little bit more money. I'll hack down here. Those imbalances never exist. So quite frankly, I mean, that's one of the things. I came from not a real estate background. I kind of don't like that either, and everybody doesn't like that. And everyone in the industry knows that's going to change. My belief is that if we're successful, our agents become that productive, and they create this imbalance in a free market. What will happen is it will naturally have to cut down and become more competitive to where eventually they'll be back to making 120, 130, kind of what the labor market value of a real estate agent is broadly, and it will have driven a reduction in the commissions because we'll have increased productivity and efficiency, hence the price will come down.
So maybe just a point of perspective here. So my question was about, hey, there's an opportunity for you guys to maybe, X real estate, and then your response was, look at how much our real estate agents are making and how good our real estate and blah, blah, blah are doing. And so I think there might be a disconnect of where the future of real estate is going to be and kind of the money you're grabbing right now. And it seems like you guys would be posed to make an awesome pivot soon. I think there's a cool phase two that could come very quickly. So ultimately very impressed, but also from the energy of everyone, we're all very frustrated, right, with real
I
estate.
think
So
you guys
you're in
want it
the
to
right
work
place.
For the same
Yeah.
reason we want it to work.
Pain solution. Yep.
And we've been in the audience with all millennials, and it was tough.
Yeah, we're not easy. Sorry.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to end there, because we don't have time for our second presenter, but Otto, David, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you very much.